Oh, hell no. Oh, yes. Hell yes. Hell yes. It's time again. It's time again for some more Sex in the City. Okay. The great show from the late 90s, early 2000s about all these sluts that were walking around. I'm sorry. About all these progressive modern day women, professionals that were dating in New York City in the late 90s, early 2000s. Okay. Back when the show was good. I'm Diego. I've watched every single episode of Sex in the City, even though I'm straight. I know. Somebody called Ripley, right? I'm a straight guy and I watched every single episode. And I watched it back then too. I watched it when it first came out. Yes, I've already seen every episode, okay? But I haven't seen them in a long time. So that's why I'm doing this. I'm watching them again. I'm reviewing them again. I'm older now. Obviously, I'm not in my 20s anymore, so I'm watching this shit. Just seeing how fucking culture fucking got fucked up. This and Friends. Yeah, that's what fucked up all women today. No, sorry. Sorry. Okay, but anyway, yes, I watched every episode of Second City back then. I love the show. The show is great. The only thing I didn't like about the show was the way they portrayed the straight men on the show. The guys that these women were actually having sex with. Yeah, I didn't like the way they were showing those guys. Those guys were not realistic to me. They didn't seem like real men. Every once in a while they got it right, but most of the time they got it wrong. Okay, and I started watching the show because all the hot girls that I worked with were watching it, and I wanted to talk to them about it. Okay, none of my guy friends were watching the show. Okay, it was only gay guys and girls were watching the show, so I wanted to have something to talk to them about. So I watched the show as well, and I got hooked. All right, so I love the show. I love the characters. I just didn't like the way straight men were being portrayed. And one of the things that I noticed is that in the creative process of the show, there were no straight men involved in creating the show. The show was written by gay guys, lesbians, and feminists. Okay. They didn't care what someone like me, someone who's in their 20s and living in Chicago, in a big city. I was actively dating back then, okay? I worked downtown. I lived downtown. I went to school near downtown, so I was going to nightclubs. I was going to restaurants, parties, concerts, hotels, conventions, taverns. I was hanging out with a lot of people. We were all like actors and shit. We're all good lookings and models and all that. So we were all doing that shit, okay, in our 20s, all right? If you want to know what that's like, there's a movie called Restaurant. Came out in 1998. It's with what's his name? The big nose guy, Adrian. Who's that guy? The guy with the big nose. You know what I'm talking about. Anyway, he's in there. He was in The Piano. Can't remember. I'll remember his name later. It was Adrian something. But anyway, he had the guy with the big nose. He was in King Kong. All right. But anyway, he was in it. That's a movie about like people working in restaurants, okay, and just getting laid and acting and all sorts of shit. But anyway, that's what we're talking about today. That was my life. We're talking about their life, this fictional life of Carrie Bradshaw and her three best friends, all right? So in Sex in the City, what we're going to talk about in this episode here, we're in season 4, episode 11. The title of this episode is called Coulda, Woulda, Shoulda, all right, which is a line that Samantha says a lot. Excuse me, in this episode, okay? So let's dive in here, okay? I'm going to give you a straight man's point of view. If you're easily triggered, if you're easily offended, if you're some fucking snowflake or some shit, get the fuck out right now, okay? I do not censor myself here. I'm going to give you honest to God, straight man's point of view of the show from a guy's point of view, a guy who was actively dating back then, all right? And I'm not going to lie here. I'm going to tell you the truth. Do not watch this with your partner. Watch this by yourself, okay? I'm going to tell you the honest to God truth, and I don't lie here, okay? Whether you like it or not, I'm going to tell you the truth, all right? This is what guys really think about this show, all right? Not your gay best friend, not your girlfriends, what a straight guy really thinks about this, all right? Here we go. Because that's the point of view you didn't get, but now you're going to get it. You're going to get it, and I'm going to give it to you. All right, here we go. Okay, so like I said, Second City, episode 11, season 4, Coulda, Woulda, Shoulda. It starts out with Carrie is running downtown. She's late, obviously, to meet Miranda for something, I don't know, I guess in the park or some shit. Anyway, Miranda tells Carrie that she's pregnant, and she's fucking flipping out. She's freaking out about it. She already went to the doctor. She just came back from the doctor. She's already given herself 3 pregnancy tests. She's fucking pregnant, okay? She got a bun in the oven. Okay, so who's the dad? Oh, obviously, it's Steve, okay? So Carrie's kind of like, oh, shit, I don't know what to do with this. And Miranda's like, I don't know what I'm going to do, So she's kind of freaking out, even though she really shouldn't be. She's already decided what she's going to do. Yes, I'm going to go there. Let me just tell you right now, I watched this episode yesterday, okay? It's May 9th, 2022 as I'm recording this. Yesterday was, guess what? What was yesterday? Mother's Day, that's right. I had no idea this was the episode I was going to be watching on Mother's Day. Okay, not only did I not know that, but what's going on right now in May of 2022? Holy shit. Okay, I think the man upstairs wanted me to watch this episode for a reason. Because they're talking about, you know what? Something about rowing and wades, okay? All right, so here we go. So that's going on here. So basically, Miranda feels sorry. I'm in hell. Hey, you know what, ladies? You got it so fucking easy, okay? You have no idea what it's like. And you'll never know what it's like to find out that your girlfriend got pregnant. You have no idea what that's like. Okay, that was a joke. That was a joke, okay? That was a joke. It's a joke. I was joking. All right? Okay. All right, so Miranda's like, I fucked Steve once. It was a mercy fuck. Yeah, at least she's honest, right? It was a mercy fuck. Yeah. Tell that to Brady now in 2022. Hey, you were a mercy fuck. That's the only reason you exist. I felt sorry for your dad because he only had one testicle. And I only have one good ovary. So what were the fucking chances that you would fucking show up? Exactly. So that's going on here. She's like, why didn't I use a condom? When the fuck did you ever use a condom? When the fuck did any of you bitches ever fucking use a condom? Never. I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean that in a good way, you know? Hey, these are all my bitches. I don't mean that derogatorily in a bad way. I mean, they call themselves bitches, all right? I like them. They're like imaginary friends for me, okay? So no, I'm not disrespecting them, all right? So that's going on here. Of course, you know, Carrie's like, have you told Steve yet? She's like, I'm not going to tell Steve. I'm never going to tell Steve because I'm not going to fucking have the kid. That's why. Okay, so she made up her mind. All right. She's like, you know, this shouldn't have happened. I should have gotten pregnant. Okay? This is like the fucking, he's got one fucking testicle. I got one ovary. One working ovary. What the fuck? It's like the Special Olympics of conception. Yeah, whatever. You know, okay. Anyway, meanwhile, Charlotte's upset that she hasn't gotten pregnant yet. She's still not pregnant. Her and her husband have been trying for months to get pregnant. And something's wrong. And there's nothing wrong with his sperm, so she's kind of decided there's something wrong with her. Okay, that's why she can't get pregnant, because they've been trying to fuck like crazy, and she has not gotten pregnant yet. She's upset. So what does she do? What do all the girls do on this fucking show? They complain to each other about it at that fucking diner that they all go to, the one with the 2 bacon strips on the menu. Yeah, they go back there again. Okay? And to complain about their fucking lives. Their rich, fucking white, professional, I live in downtown Manhattan lives. All right? So she's not pregnant, whatever. But so Charlotte's like, I'm never getting pregnant. Everyone else is getting pregnant except for me. He's like, did you know that a woman of 35 only has a 35% chance of getting pregnant? And Samantha's like, I thought this was brunch, okay? Not a fertility seminar. Yeah, like Samantha would ever think about having a fucking kid. She's in her fucking 40s, okay? That train already passed. That boat already sailed a long time ago, Samantha. But hey, at least she knows what she wants. She doesn't want to be a mom. Hey, if you want to be a mom, don't be a mom, all right? Not that I'm taking a political stance. I'm just saying, Samantha be a horrible mom, honestly. What the fuck, dude? Can you imagine Samantha's a mom? Jesus Christ. Okay. So it's not fertility seminar, and Char's like, well, Trey checked out fine. You know, so it must be me. Ever position. We've tried every position 75 times. Without a condom. Yes, 75 times I counted. You know how much perfect semen that is that's wasted? It must be me. And I spent my 20s fucking worried that I was going to get pregnant and screwing every guy in sight. I should have been so lucky to get pregnant by mistake. Yeah, that's typically what goes on in this show. But you ladies already know that, okay? So Samantha's like, coulda, woulda, shoulda. Okay, Miranda's visibly upset because she's pregnant and the girls don't know. Carrie knows, but Samantha and Charlotte don't know. Okay, so Miranda's really upset and she's giving them looking at Carrie and, you know, she's fucked. You can tell she's fucked up listening to Charlotte complain about not getting pregnant. Okay, and Miranda's like, I'm pregnant! It's Steve's! And Samantha's like, you mean that mercy fuck you had? You know, and Charlotte's like, but he's only got one testicle! It's not fair! How could you do this to me? You're not gonna have it, are you? Miranda's like, it's not in my plans right now. I don't want to talk about it with you. I don't feel comfortable talking about it with you, Charlotte. So Charlotte's like, fine, I'm leaving. You can have your abortion talk without me. Well, hey, at least we know where she stands too, you know? So Samantha's like, you know, it happens. We've all been there. I've had 3 of them. What about you, Carrie? And Carrie's like, oh, I only had 1, you know? Oh, yeah, remember? You told me it was that waiter from TGI Fridays. It wasn't TGI Fridays. It was Saloon, which was cool back then. It was 1988. I was 22 years old. You were dating Robert Downey Jr. is what you were doing, Sergeant. He was a drug addict. You know, it was Saloon, okay? Like crazy forced sex. You know, I think that on this show, Sex and the City, I think that what happened was, we don't see it, because when the show starts off in season 1, episode 1, Carrie's 35. All the girls are 34, except for Samantha, who's like 41 or 42. Okay, I think what happened was all the women were basically just fucking every guy that they were attracted to, and some girls that they were attracted to from their teenage years up until 34, until the first episode of the first season. I think they were just riding the cock carousel, basically. Fucking a lot of guys. The reason they didn't do that show, I think, is because it would have pissed off a lot of people. Remember, this was the late 90s, all right? I mean, Friends was already doing that, okay? All the girls on Friends were fucking every guy in sight, too, okay? But I think that it would have been harder to sell the show on attractive women that could easily get laid. I think it's better to sell a show when they're in their middle age, you know, and still trying to get laid, okay? Because a lot of women by that time, once they hit the wall, they're starting to deal with insecurity issues about what they look like and what kind of men they can attract, okay? The kind of men you can attract, ladies, at 38, it's not the same kind of men that you can attract at 28, okay? Or 22, okay? So I think that's starting to chip away at their self-confidence. So what do you do when women are insecure about their looks, especially when all they've done is depend on their looks for everything? Guess what you do? You create a show called Sex in the fucking City, for all these women in their 30s and 40s can feel better about themselves, okay? And it'll be written by gay guys, because that's the perspective you want. You don't want to know what straight guys really think. You want to know what gay guys think about your dating life, okay? Because that's important. That's going to change your life and make you feel better about yourself. So that's what you do, okay? And I think that's what the show's doing, all right? Anyway, and I love the show, but come on. I think that's what happened. I think they decided, let's do a show where in the first episode, the women on the show will start to consider maybe, possibly getting a boyfriend. You know, like a monogamous relationship with a guy. I think that's kind of what it was. I don't think we would have wanted to know these women before season 1, episode 1. I think we all already knew the women they were before season 1, episode 1. Okay, I know I sure as fuck did. But anyway, we're not about me. Okay, so that's what I think. All right. So anyway, Aiden's talking to Carrie. He's at her place, and he's waiting for her to get rest. She's trying all these different clothes. She can't concentrate on something to wear. So she breaks down. She tells Aiden, I got to tell you something. You got to promise never to tell anybody. He's like, okay. He's like, swear on Chanel. Like, she holds up some fucking Chanel, tells him to swear on. What the fuck? Swear on Chanel? It's a chick show. Fuck it. It's a chick show. I'll just go with it. Okay? Like when they talk about Berghoffs, you know, and Barney's and Manolo Blahniks, you know, I'll just go with it. Like I'm fucking supposed to know what that shit is. All right? But anyway, so yeah, he swears on Chanel. And she tells him, okay, Miranda's pregnant. He's like, who's the dad? He's like, it's Steve. He's like, what? He needs to know. Blah, blah, blah. You can't. He's like, oh, well, she don't want to tell him, and you can't tell him either. And then, you know, because I swore to her that I wouldn't tell anybody, and of course I'm going to tell you. You know, that kind of thing. You know. He's like, well, you know, why didn't she just have the baby and give it to Charlotte? She's like, it's not a sweater. You're not going to win this argument, guys. You're not going to win this argument. All right. I mean, she doesn't want to have a kid. What the fuck? I know it's fucked up for the guy. If the guy actually wants to have a kid, there's this narrative going out there that men that get women pregnant, the men don't want to have the kid. Okay, that's actually not true. That's something that's bullshit that Hollywood feeds you so you can feel better about what you're going to do. All right, but there's plenty of guys out there that fucking want to have the kid. Okay, they don't want to fucking have the girl kill the baby. Okay, they actually want to have the kid, but their feelings are not considered. Okay, and you know what? As much as a guy as I am, I gotta admit, okay? I don't like to get too much political on this show. Those of you who watch my episodes, you already know what I lean, okay? Some of you think I'm a Republican. I'm actually not a Republican, but I'm not fucking liberal either, all right? I'm not a Republican for two reasons. Number one, because I don't believe in God, okay? The Christian God, I'm not Christian. I believe in God. I do not believe in Christianity, okay? And number two, I am pro pro-choice. Yes, I am pro-choice, okay? I understand all the arguments here. I'm not going to get into it, okay? But the bottom line is, if a woman gets pregnant, regardless of whether it was her irresponsibility or it was rape or incest or whatever the hell it was, okay? Regardless, okay? If a woman is pregnant, how the hell are we going to force her to carry a baby to term? You cannot do that. You cannot do that to a person. You cannot force her to have a baby, okay? We can't do that, okay? That trumps everything else. And I also think it's an individual person's choice. They need to decide for themselves, okay? Because they're the ones that got to live with themselves, all right? Depending on what they decide to do, okay? So it's a very personal, intimate choice. I wish that men had a say so in this, but since we're not the ones carrying the baby, it's kind of hard for us to make the argument that it's our body too. It's our baby too. It is our baby too. But we're not the ones that have to carry it. So anyway, I don't want to get too political here, but yes. It was Mother's Day. This episode came up. I'm reviewing it. And they got all this shit going on right now. There's a civil war about to start. Jesus Christ, man. Anyway, all right. So I got that out of the way. All right. So that's going on here. Aiden thinks that Steve should know. Carrie's like, no, Miranda's not going to tell him because she's going to get rid of the kid. Blah, blah, blah. So that's going on, okay? I haven't watched this before. Oh, God, you know what? I tell you what. The last time I watched this episode was before I became a dad. So, yeah. It's weird. It's weird seeing this again, because being a dad back then when this episode aired was the furthest thought from my mind. This episode aired in August of 2001. Yes, in about 3 weeks, the shit was going to hit the fan. All right, so that's going on here. Samantha and Carrie are shopping for purses. They see a Bergen bag there. What the fuck a Bergen bag is? But it's expensive. It costs $4,000. Samantha wants it because it's going to make her look cool if she's walking around with a $4,000 purse. Okay. But Carrie's like, well, they're talking about abortions, and Carrie's like, I lied to Aiden about not having an abortion because Aiden asked her, did you ever have an abortion? She's like, no, but she did. Okay. And she's like, I don't want him to think of me that way. I don't want him to think of me as a bad fucking slut who fucks a lot of guys behind his back. Oh, wait a minute. He already thought that of me. Oh, I don't want him to think of me as a lying, abortionist. That kind of thing, So that's going on here. I don't want him to think of me in a certain way. What way? What way, Carrie? Like you're a slut? He already knows that. You fucking cheated on him with Big for a long time, and more than once. Okay, Carrie's like, I would have if I'd had the baby back then, I'd have a 13-year-old right now. But then I wouldn't know you, Samantha. Then you and I wouldn't have been best friends. Sam's like, coulda, woulda, shoulda. That's her line this episode. Coulda, woulda, shoulda. All right. To road to who we hope to be. So Carrie starts thinking about, there's a difference between who we are and who we hope to be. Okay. So the thesis of this episode is, are we there yet? Have we gotten to the point where we wanted to be in life? Okay. Samantha has lunch with Lucy Liu. Yeah, Lucy Liu herself, the Asian princess from Charlie's Angels. And what else? I think she was just coming off of Ally McBeal back then. I never watched that fucking show. I just know Robert Downey Jr. Sarah Jessica Parker's ex-boyfriend was in that show. Okay, that was Callista Flockhart, who's married to Harrison Ford now. Anyway, Lucy Liu, you know who she is. Okay, the Asian girl. She doesn't really act that much anymore, but she does do a lot of directing. I know she directs a lot of TV shows. She's doing that now. But she looked good back then. She looked good back then too, But that Charlie's Angels, if someday I'm going to do a top 5 worst movies I've ever seen in my entire fucking life, and Charlie's Angels, that one is on there. I didn't put the new one on there because I'm not watching that piece of shit. But I did watch the one from 2001, I think it was, with Lucy Liu in it. Yeah, and it was one of the worst movies I've ever fucking seen in my life. And I used to watch the show from the 70s, okay? Because my brother liked it. So we only had one TV. I watched that show. The Kate Jackson, Farrah Fawcett, I watched that one. Okay? And that was better than fucking 2001 Charlie's Angels. I didn't even waste my time with Full Throttle. And if you think I'm going to watch the fucking one from a few years ago, dude, there's a bridge I want to fucking sell you. But anyway. So Samantha meets Lucy Liu. She wants a job. She wants to be her new PR agent. And Lucy Liu starts off like, hey, I'm from Queens, and she does like, what she says. She says, look, bitch, don't start with me. So she's obviously from the hood. Lucy Liu's from the hood. She got to show that off, Biatch. Yeah. Hey, that's how they do it, okay? I don't do that shit. That's what they were doing this fucking episode, All right. So Samantha's like, well, when I'm representing you, it's class all the way. And she says that because she left the waiter a 25% tip. Because Lucy Liu says she used to be a waitress back in the day before she became a famous actress, you know. So she's considering Samantha as her publicist. All right. So Samantha now feels empowered because Lucy Liu just hired her. So she decides she wants to buy that bag, that Berghoff bag, the red one. So she goes to the store, okay, to buy it. And the guy tells her, hey, it's $4K. And she's like, I know. He's like, there's also a 5-year waiting list for it. She's like, 5 years? Do you know that I represent Miss Lucy Liu? And it would be a shame if Miss Lucy Liu was not walking around in this bag. So he's like, oh, well, let me get the store publicist on the phone to call her publicist. You know, that kind of thing. All right. So what's going on there? Yeah, the Birkin. Like, what the fuck? I don't know what the fucking Birkin. I don't give a shit. I don't know shit about women's fashions or their fucking clothes or their fucking purses, all right? I don't give two fucking shits. A $4,000 purse, okay? You spent $3,995 too much for it, okay? That's what I think. Who gives a fuck what name is on there? Okay. So anyway, Charlotte makes her appointment to get for her fucking for her fertility testing. She wants fertility testing for herself. So she makes an appointment to the doctor. Meanwhile, Miranda makes an appointment to a different doctor to get her abortion. Yeah. Samantha sees a woman with the bag, the Birkin bag, just a woman in her fucking jogger shorts, jogger outfit, you know, walking around with a Birkin bag. And Samantha's like, how the fuck does this fucking person walking around with this fucking bag when I gotta wait 5 fucking years? So she gets on her cell phone. She's like, hey, this is the Samantha Jones, and I represent Mrs. Lane. I want to know why the fuck I just saw some fucking woman in her fucking workout clothes walking around with my fucking bag when I gotta fucking wait 5 fucking years, and then it's for Lucy Liu. That kind of shit. Yeah, so she goes off. Samantha just being Samantha. All right, so that's going on here. Steve scares Carrie. Carrie gets home, and Steve's there. She's like, oh, you know, and he's in his basketball clothes. He's playing basketball with Aiden. I guess Aiden's in the bathroom. He's like, oh, sorry, I didn't mean to scare you. I had to use the bathroom. Me and Aiden were playing some hoops, you know, and I didn't know you were going to come home right now. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to scare you. By the way, how's Miranda doing? I hadn't heard from her. I've been calling her, leaving her messages, and she ain't called me back. I was just wondering if you've spoken to her lately. You know, and she's like, no, I'm sorry, Miranda, no. We didn't talk about anything about her being fucking pregnant. No, I'm sorry. She didn't say that part. But Aiden knows, so she thinks that now that Aiden told him. And that's why he's asking her about Miranda. All right? But no, actually, Aiden didn't do that because Aiden's actually an honest guy. When he fucking says, I'm not fucking my ex-girlfriend, he means it. He means it. Now, when Carrie says it, she don't mean it. All right. Carrie plays all coy and asks about, you know, he asks about Miranda, like I said. And Aiden's like, you know, she runs over to Aiden and catches him by themselves and goes, hey, you didn't tell him. Did you tell him? She's like, I didn't tell him, but he deserves to know. Carrie's like, he doesn't have anything to say in this matter. Sometimes we get into situations that are just hard, okay? He's like, what's bugging you? Because I've had an abortion. No, she actually doesn't say that. I said that. She didn't say that. But that's what she's thinking. And Steve's like, well, tell Miranda I said hi. And he leaves with Aiden to go play basketball. Okay. Now, lunch with Miranda. She's very impatient. Okay, I guess they're eating fucking pizza because Miranda's got to stuff her fucking face every episode. And we got to watch her fucking eat her pizza with her mouth fucking open while she's talking. Because that happens every fucking episode with her. Baby or not, she's still a fucking fat ass. She's still feeding that fat ass of hers, which is just going to get fatter. All right? So they're there. Carrie's like, you know, maybe tell Steve you should, maybe. And Miranda's like, no. Like, that sounds very judgmental, Carrie. You know, Carrie's like, look, I told Aiden. And Miranda's like, Carrie! No, she's going to tell Steve! And Carrie's like, no. I made him swear on Chanel. But he does think that Steve should know. Miranda's like, oh. He's like, I don't even want to know. And it's my baby. Did you tell the guy from TGI Fridays? Fucking. Did you? Did you tell the guy from TGI Fridays? Or you got your fucking finger? No. Did you tell that? Did you? Yeah, just like that too. Unfucking believable. And unlike what I just did, she actually has pizza in her fucking mouth when she's saying this. Yeah, why don't you get a load of that? Okay, Carrie's like, it was Saloon, not TGI Fridays. I was 22 and it was different. We barely knew each other. It was once after a drunken night out, and we went to the tunnel. The tunnel, no judgment. And I should have told him. Miranda's like, Steve would just want me to keep it. But you know, you're right, Carrie. You're right. I forget my fucking life. I'm having Steve's baby. There you go. Free pizza for everybody. Jesus Christ, Miranda. If you were a guy, I'd fucking hit you, all right? Not because of what you want to do, because of how you're doing it. Anyway, Charlotte's doctor tells her, and Trey is there. Doctor tells her that she starts off. The doctor actually starts off with, "Hey, everything looks good. Yeah, you're great." Oh, wait a minute. No, sorry, it don't look so good after all. So they were all like, "You have a 15% chance of conceiving. That's it." So now now Charlotte's all pissed off. She's like, "Oh my God, I can't get pregnant. It's very hard for me to get pregnant. You know, I'm probably not gonna have a baby ever. Like, I'm never going to get pregnant." And she's really fucked up about it. And I understand that. I sympathize with Charlotte. She really wants to have a baby, her and her husband. You know, and she's doing it the right way. You know, she got married first, got all that kind of stuff out of the way. She already quit her job to focus full-time on being a mom, you know, but she just hasn't gotten pregnant yet, you know. And so I understand her point of view. I sympathize with her, you know. She wants to have a kid, and she's told that she can't have a kid. Not really. She has very little possibility of giving birth to a child, you know. So she's upset about this legitimately. I feel for her. I really do feel for her, you know, because unlike Miranda, she actually wants to have a kid, you know. And anyway, she runs into guess who? Miranda on the street. She looks at Miranda and turns the other way, but Miranda catches her like, "Hey, Charlotte, why are you walking away from me?" You know, and confronts her. You know, she says, "You don't return my calls. You pretend not to see me just now. What I'm doing is not an attack on you. Okay, it's hard for me too, you know. I don't want you to be hating me because you think that you can't get pregnant." And Charlotte's like, "I can't get pregnant. Look at this doctor report. My body's been attacking Trey's sperm. I have a 50% chance of having a baby. Can I go now?" And she walks away. And Miranda offers to walk with her, but she decides to walk behind her because I guess stalking is better than walking with her, you know, or just walking the other direction. Obviously, Charlotte doesn't want to see you right now, Miranda, but she ain't going to let it go. But Miranda feels bad now because Charlotte has legitimate proof that she can't have a kid. Meanwhile, Miranda is going to have a kid, but she don't want to. So she's following her. She's like, "Hey, I got your back," basically. She follows her there. You know, I'm not, you know, Miranda follows her home. She's behind her. Basically, get it? She's behind her. So anyway, Lucy Lou's wearing some fucking J Adore t-shirt on. She meets with Samantha again at another fucking restaurant. Lucy Lou meets with Samantha, and she's got the Birkin purse. She got the Birkin purse. And Samantha admits that it's her bag. "Oh, that's actually my purse. I paid for it." You know, and she named her. And she admits to Lucy Lou that she name-dropped Lucy Lou in order to get the bag. And Lucy's like, "You know what? My PR rep, the store's PR rep from Armisi, wherever the fucking store that is, Armis, told me my PR rep yelled 'fuck' at her 12 times. Do you call that class, Samantha?" Samantha's like, "Oh, I never use the F word. I just called to check up on the bag. That's all. I was on my cell phone. You know, maybe she picked up some crazy person, you know, cursing nearby, you know." And Lucy's like, "The only thing worse than a liar is a bad one." And she gets up. And she's like, "You're fired. If I was as bad as an actress as you are, I'd still be slinging onion rings at TGI Fridays." Cha. I swear to God. Some of the shit you girls do is fucking hilarious. It's fucking hilarious. Because no guy would ever do that. No straight guy would ever do that. Samantha's like, that's my Birkin! Jesus Christ. You know, if you concentrate as much on men as you do on your fucking purses and your clothes, you know, you have no problems. You'd have no problems. All right. So that's going on here. Meanwhile, Carrie goes to the saloon. That's the restaurant where she met fucking the guy that got her pregnant, you know, 13 years ago. And guess what? He's still there. Now hey, I waited tables. Hey, I waited tables, okay? I know. I waited tables, okay? So, but usually when you wait tables, you only do that for a few years, okay? You're not still working there 13 fucking years later, okay? And this isn't a nice restaurant. I know. I've met a lot of professional waiters. I worked with a lot of professional waiters, okay? This is what they do for a living. They get very well paid for it too. I'm talking about 5-star restaurants, okay? These guys are pulling like 150 a year, okay? Working as a waiter. So I've met those guys too. I've worked with those guys, okay? So I know you can make a career out of this, okay? But this place is like a fucking TGI Fridays. And the guy there, he looks like he's 22. And you're going to convince me that he got Carrie pregnant 13 years ago? And he still looks like he's 22? Ain't buying it. Ain't buying it, no. So she goes there. He does not recognize her. He sounds like a dumb fuck because all the straight guys are dumb fucks on this show. Oh, God, I need a woman to tell me what to do. I can't do shit. Here, can you teach me how to wipe my ass? You know, that kind of thing. That's all the guys are portrayed on this show. All the straight guys are. All right. So he does not recognize her. You know, but she's like, oh yeah, you remember? You know, we went out to the bridge that one time. You know, I had like a strawberry daiquiri. You know, remember? And then we left him. And he's like, no, but did I try to make a move on you? She's like, no, you were a perfect gentleman. That's all. Bye. Okay, and she realizes that, you know, Carrie, she's like, you know, even though she's sitting in the same seat she sat in back then, because she made a point to sit at the same table she sat at back then. She was in a different place now, and he wasn't. He was still a waiter at a fucking TGI Fridays, which is not realistic. Most people don't stay doing that, okay? I've done it, but most people don't stay doing that, okay? When I was a waiter, the people that I worked with, okay, were all around my age. We're all in our 20s. Some of us were in our 30s. A few of us were in our 40s, but, you know, that was it, okay? You didn't stay there, okay? So meanwhile, at the doctor's office with Miranda, Miranda asks Carrie questions. Does it hurt? Does it hurt to get an abortion? You know, how long before you started feeling better? How long? And Carrie's like, you know, any day now. Which is kind of sad, you know. It's kind of sad. These are not easy decisions to make, okay? And they have consequences, you know. They do. That will linger for the rest of your life. You really need to think about it. That's what being an adult. That's why sex is only for adults, okay? You have to make these tough decisions about what's going to happen to your life and the life of other people, okay? You know, it's not an easy decision to make, you know. So, you know, I understand that, you know, and I sympathize with that, you know. So Miranda starts, you know, having second thoughts. And Miranda's like, you know, my stupid egg found its way into his sperm. You know, like, what if I regret it later on? What if this is my last chance? You know, I can't have a baby though. You know, and she gets called in. It's her turn to go back there. And Miranda, and she's like, motherfucker, and she goes back there, right? Next scene we see is Miranda at home, and the girls are all there. Samantha's there. Charlotte shows up with some flowers, and Carrie's there. And Charlotte's like, you know what? Hey, I'm sorry. I yelled at you. You know, I'm not going to judge you for your decision. You know. And Miranda's like, I didn't do it, Charlotte. I'm keeping the baby. You know. And Charlotte's like, we're having a baby. No, Miranda's having a baby, not you, Charlotte. And Carrie runs to go meet Aiden at the bar. And there's a big long wait at the bar because she's late, of course. She's 10 minutes late, so they gave their table away. So like, can we wait at the bar then at least? You know, because they're at a restaurant. Can we wait at the bar then? You say, oh yeah, there's another list to wait at the bar. He's like, okay. So they go outside on the sidewalk, and I guess they're drinking beers in a paper bag, you know. And she tells him the truth. She decides to finally tell him the truth. That's not something that she does very often, is tell Aiden the truth. But for some reason, she decides to tell him the truth right now. And she says, like, hey, listen, I lied to you about having an abortion. And I swear to God, I'll never lie to you again. He's like, okay. He's like, why'd you lie to me? She said, I was afraid you'd judge me. Okay? You know, the condom broke, and okay, I lied to you. There was no condom. But look, it was a long time ago. I was 18. Okay, I lied to you. I was 22. And I should have known better, and I'm a fucking idiot. And I'm a fucking slut. Oh. Sorry, did you say slut? I added that in there. I punctuated it with that. That was me. I put my own judgment in there. And for those of you that are mad at me, at least I didn't fucking kill a kid. All right. Aiden's like, you know what, Carrie? Is your name really Carrie? She's like, yes. he's like, hey, I was no angel either, She's like, did you ever get a girl pregnant? Like, well, not that I know of. And in my personal case, hey, listen, before my son was born, all right, there was this woman out there once, okay? And she said that I was the dad. And I got to be honest with you, okay? Look, and I'm not proud of this, all right? I'm not proud of it, okay? But we're not really sure. The truth is we're not really sure who the mom is. That was a fucking joke, okay? It's a joke. We're not sure who the mom is. I'm not proud of it. You're right. Carrie's like, it must be nice to be a guy. Am I still your girl? He's like, yes, you're always going to be my girl. And when I catch you fucking big again behind my back, you're still going to be my girl. Because I'm going to Will Smith that shit. Na 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 na. Okay, anyway. And then, of course, the fucking hostess comes out, your table's ready. So they go back inside, and Carrie's like, Miranda keeping the baby. Just don't tell Steve. Yeah, she tells Aiden, and Miranda's gonna keep the baby, but don't tell Steve. He's like, okay, I'll just do whatever the fuck you say, Carrie. That's who Aiden is. All right, and that's the end of this episode. Thank you for watching this one here, and I will be back on the next one.